Brilliant. Okay, so let's kick off then for the continuation of yesterday's session. And thank you so much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing everything with me right now. So welcome again. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. Very early for some, a bit later for others. I'm really delighted that you're continuing with your journey. And today we're going to cover the third part of the journey. So yesterday we have spoken about the inspiring vision and how to then to achieve the vision we need goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. And setting those goals is the start that has to be followed then by having the plan, putting a plan in place, and that plan is a framework that we start with. And this is a framework where then we have the freedom in relation to the plan to make the changes if we need to. However, the framework is still there, so we still know what the plan is, and we can reference that plan and put it in place and then stay on track. So what I wanted to cover today is, first of all, just to check if you have your workbook still. Let me know if you have the workbook. Otherwise, I will put the link in again. Maybe I just do it. Yes, you've got it. Okay. Oh, you've got it. Everyone's got it. Okay. Yeah. There's a hand up as well. Perfect. Okay. So perfect. So with that, we're going I'm going to do what you've already seen yesterday. So go into, first of all, an overview of where we are, what we're doing, and then have a conversation around what that means for you, what the best practice is, and then how you can then implement it. I share an example, and then we're actually going to do it today as well for the third part. So before I dive into the slides, and I can't see the chat for that time, do you have any questions at this point in time in terms of either the what we've covered yesterday around the vision, or the goal setting, or the plan? And I've noted some of the comments, and there was something in the Q&A as well. So I'm going to also cover this in a bit more detail in terms of some of the challenges, if that's okay. So let me know if you have any questions right now. No, nothing at all. Okay. I take silence as no questions. Fabulous. So let's dive into the slides. Brilliant. So this is, again, just to refocus ourselves, remind ourselves, the reason why you're giving up your personal time at this point in time, very early and in the evening, is because you really are focused and determined to hit your number one goal this year. And this is a commitment. You're making an investment of time being here. So what I want to make sure that I add some tools today to help you with that, and also take into consideration what you have shared just now in the chat with me, what some of the challenges can be and where you're heading. So yesterday we covered two quite big chunks, and thank you very much for also doing some additional work on them after we finished the session. That is really commitment. And today we're going to cover what I call compounding action. So you might have heard of compound interest, which is when you invest, basically, once you've invested, and then there is the let's say interest added to it over a period of time. You leave your base investment with the interest, and then the next chunk of interest will be counted from a higher base of the previous capital plus investment. And over time, actually leaving that additional generated interest to compound over time can make a huge difference in investment. And this is the principle that I am applying to when I say compounding actions. Because doing something just once is a one-off is a great start, but it is not going to give the big effect of change that we're looking for. So going from A to B to reach a goal to then ultimately reach the vision is a process over time where there will be challenges, there will be good and bad days, there will be distractions, things that try to take us off track and throw us off track. And as Stephen mentioned, having a great plan is a great start. The question is, does the whole environment really around us lend itself to support us? It's not always possible, of course, certainly not 100%. However, how can we make tweaks and adjustments bit by bit over a period of time to actually compound those actions to a much bigger outcome and result? That's really what this is about. So thanks very much for sharing with me where you are and how far you got yesterday. You have the workbook already, which is fantastic. Thank you for that. And the focus today is really how to make things happen, and where the vision, the plan are fantastic and will help over some of the dips and challenges, which is why the vision is so important. It is really about how to make put what I call fail safes in place every single day, every single week to reach that longer term goal. So the challenges that we face when we are putting a goal in place, a plan in place, is the accountability and the mindset most of the time. And with accountability specifically, this will make a huge difference over a period of time, how accountable we feel and how accountable we are. And I'm going to, what I would like to bring up is the notion of accountability, and that can be a bad word. So some people have had the experience of accountability as being something that's been used as a beating stick, or where they might have been caught out or called out and pulled up in a way which was really not helpful. Accountability at its best is really a safety net and a fail-safe to help us move from wherever we are today to where we want to be. So whatever the goal is that we've set for ourselves, accountability is really the support mechanism, when applied well, that helps us to get to that point B in the future where we've transformed something that we want to transform, whether it's the business or the health. And this is exactly how I'm applying it. So, and I encourage everyone to do the same. So very often, because people had not such good experiences around accountability, or they've seen things maybe which are too remote from what they can do, or too extreme for what they're able to do and willing to do, they don't know where to start. So they still want to be accountable. They still want to put the plan in place and make things happen and get to the goal, but they want to do it in a consistent, continuous way. So the compounding actions, which is going to give them the result, not overnight, not straight away, but really step by step within the circumstances they are in. And this is really one of the most important things to consider. Accountability is going to be different for your circumstances. So what someone can do is not going to be suitable necessarily to yourself. And this is where people often struggle to say, they say, David Goggins, he's done all these incredible things, being a former Navy SEAL, he did still did the training where I think he was saying his legs were broken, and this was his accountability. And not everyone is able or willing to do that. And it's okay. It's about, how do you find your way to move from A to B? So finding the right way is important, and I'm going to come in a moment to how to look for that. The other reason why people don't succeed with being accountable as accountable they would ideally like to be, is that they tried something before and it didn't work. So again, it might have not matched their circumstances. Maybe the job they have, where they try to do something, might not have matched their personal life, or any other reason that that meant that actually the accountability that they were putting in place, or someone suggested they put in place, did not really lend itself to be that support mechanism, that fail-safe mechanism to help them move from place A to place B. So when you think back again about, where you have started, where you have tried things, where things maybe didn't work as planned, ask yourself, was there something there that maybe didn't quite match my circumstances, and where I was at the time that actually was supposed to help but didn't? That's really, really important to think about also what happened in the past, and how to stop that from happening again. So to not repeat something that happened in the past, to really understand why that happened. And then finally, there is a group of people, and recently actually I saw a post in a group about accountability, and someone was saying, well, if you're truly accountable, which means that you really, really want to hit it, you don't need any accountability support, because you want it so much, you're just going to do it anyway. And that's very interesting, because some people do, but most people actually deal with a lot of disruptions, distractions from work, from family, from friends, from maybe health reasons, whatever it might be. And actually having a support mechanism in place, different accountability fail-safes in place, can really help to navigate this journey from whatever the starting point is today, to the transformation that you want to achieve, this goal that you want to achieve ultimately. And there will be ups and downs. If you remember the emotional journey of change I shared with yesterday, there are different things that happen, not just on the outside around us, but also within us, in response to the things we have to change. Because to reach a goal, normally we have to step out of the zone of the situation we are in today. And that means going through a range of emotions, some of them more challenging than others. And again, things like the vision will help, but also other support mechanisms, accountability mechanisms are going to help with that, when they are really the right ones for the situation, for your specific situation. And also for how much time and what type of person you are. So what time we want to dedicate to it. But different people have different ways of operating. And this also means that certain things are going to work for them better than others. And that's another thing, another point that's really important to consider. So when someone is maybe more introvert, they might actually not feel comfortable with being all over the social media announcing what they are going to do and committing themselves that way. So it's really important to make sure that, knowing yourself, you find the right mechanisms to support you. So these are the struggles and challenges that people normally encounter. And what I'm going to do is just come out and see what you think. So obviously, you want to hit a goal. There might have been challenges with hitting other goals in the past. So can you share with us, or with me, maybe what you've tried before, and that might not necessarily have worked as you planned, and that you hoped would help you with accountability and support, but has not done that. So if you maybe are able to share that in the chat, that would be fantastic, just to give me an idea. Stephen, you say you have the book. Is this okay? Mentors, okay. And is there a particular reason why? Okay. So was this not the right, I call it the right match, because it is with support, it has to be the right match between the the person being menteed and the mentor. Okay. So you drifted away from being there. Okay, it's interesting. Okay. Now a mentor that doesn't care that's a challenge. Okay. Yes, it sounds like it wasn't a match, because ultimately, and I see this with my coachees, you have to find the right level of alignment and understanding, because the utmost commitment from the mentor has to be to support the mentee or coachee on the journey. And I understand, if you didn't think that they really were in it with you, then I completely understand that this discouraged you from pursuing that. I understand that. Okay, it's good to know that. Okay, police. Okay, it's a very interesting point, actually. This policing and follow up, and what I always ask is what someone who works with me, what they want to do, and very so a standard. What everyone always gets is in between sessions a reminder, automated reminder, and this is the absolute minimum. So I've done in the group as well. So I run a accountability group, and I did a survey with people, asking them, with the members of the group, asking them about what type of accountability they would like. And most people actually wanted to have a reminder before the week, so on a Sunday night, to get ready for the week. But there were quite a few who were also mentioning daily prompts as well. That's something that's quite interesting as well, just to have that daily prompt and reminder. It is. There can be, when there are early successes, and then as things continue, there might be less successes, there might be less frequent. It does take a different type of motivation to persist and continue. I agree. So it's motivation is another piece which is quite finicky, because there is a lot of things going on in the brain with the chemicals as well, and within how we respond to reward or challenge. And different people work differently and need different incentives and motivation, understanding that as well, and balancing towards the right side. The challenge or the incentive is quite important as well, and that's outside what we're covering here. But actually understanding your motivation, where you're coming from, and what really keeps you on track, it is really important and really key. So when you do the planning, in the quarterly breakdown, what I've actually put in is a reward. So you plan for a reward as well, not just for the tasks in the plan. And it is really, really important to make sure that you have something to look forward to as well when you achieve things. Yes, it's perfectionism can be a challenge when it comes to getting stuff done, because you have to effectively work out a way where your belief system really buys into the Pareto principle. And you might have heard about this. So Pareto was a mathematician, and he effectively demonstrated that where you focus your energy, you will get the biggest reward. So that's the 80-20 principle, where you should focus where you get 80% of your reward, but you should also be mindful that to get that remaining 20% of something done actually is likely to take 80% of the remaining energy. So, and try to balance things in a way where you actually put your effort where you get 80%, and then just say, minimum viable, or maybe minimum viable plus, that's good enough, and done is better than perfect. So that's there's a whole motivation theory behind it, in terms of how to make this all happen and work this in a way that's right for the individual, for the person, because no people are the same, of course, are they? So I'm going to dive right back if that's okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. And let me then share screen again. Brilliant. So what's the solution? You have in your workbook the ultimate accountability checklist. And I've created this having spoken to literally dozens of people I've coached during my corporate career, but also over 60 people I've coached in the last few months. And what is recurrently the theme is that there are 3 types of ways how we can help ourselves with accountability. And when I tested this with a number of people, what they really liked is that actually this addresses different ways of how people operate. So the accountability, so the support mechanism, the fail-safe, can come from I call it leveraging someone or something around you. So how can you work with people around you and use their help to become more accountable? The same for process. So which things can you build into your routine, your schedule, to help you to maintain that plan and stay on track? And finally, the environment. So how can you create an environment that is going to be less conducive to somehow taking you off track? And with the way how this template works is that first of all, I always ask everyone to look at what the goal is and put the goal there. So the goal that you've defined yesterday, the SMART goal, that's where it starts. And then in relation to achieving that goal, the question is, in each of the 3 sections, do you actually already have something in place among these 15 points? So in each section, there are 5 points. Do you already have something in place that is helping you to stay on track on the journey that you have? Maybe something that you did before and you want to reintroduce to help you reach that goal. And sometimes it turns out that actually people already do things. They didn't even realize they do it. And it actually is helping them to do some of the things they want to achieve. Maybe not as much as they want to do and not quite as ambitious when you think about the goal you've set for yourselves now. However, over time, again, this can become something when you do it consistently, continuously. So again, the compounding actions, this might really have the desired effect. So going briefly through this, and then I'll ask you if you have any questions as well. So in terms of how people around you can help, so be transparent about your doing why. So this is talking to everyone effectively about your goal and telling what you're going to do and why and so forth, because sometimes actually help can come from surprising places. So for example, when I was asking before, if you Stephen, if you're part of a group, is you might find out that actually in your environment there is someone who might be maybe interested in teaming up and do I don't know, a weekly hike or a daily walk, or maybe a 5-minute exercise every morning, whatever it is. When we speak to people, we find out sometimes that actually there is a solution or a help or fail-safe that we can build in that we wouldn't have even considered. So talking about it is really important. Teaming up with an accountability partner, this could be a direct result of it. So an accountability partner could be someone who is trying to achieve a similar goal, which is what I've just mentioned, or it could be someone who effectively we connect with on a regular basis, and they check the progress that we're making, but also in an ideal case, give support when things are not ideally going on track. So the most basic of accountability partners, it's almost like a person who you just check in with you. So this can be both ways. So I have, for example, an accountability partner. We check in every Friday with each other. We both have an action list effectively of what we committed to, the top 3, and then we see how we're going, and we actually do support each other as well. So this is a more, so it's a formal arrangement. However, it's not a paid arrangement. There are organizations that offer accountability partners as a paid service, and then it tends to be much more of a what have you done, what have you not done, and why, as opposed to necessarily the support partnership. So then teaming up with someone who has similar values and ambitions, that's again finding someone who might want to achieve something similar or maybe something different, but there are some principles that you agree on. So for example, that if you're looking at maybe creating additional time, so look at where time efficiencies are, there might be someone who actually is looking at the same, so you might be able to swap notes and look at each other's notes and then find opportunities. Complementary skills, so this is great, for example, when you are putting something in place in a business where there are tasks that can be outsourced. So teaming up with someone could be actually bringing in support from an external party, someone who you can outsource to some tasks, and effectively this might then create time that you need to put in place the actions to achieve your goal. So sometimes it's not a direct support or something that you do directly, but something that enables you to do something, and it's actually the action is being done by a different party. And then join a group of like-minded individuals. Again, this might be a group of people who are business people. So this might be a business network where everyone is building up the business. This might be again a running group. This might be a healthy living group. They are both on and offline. And they tend to really help with questions and community as well. So then the process, there's the routine. So having 3 habits can really make a difference. So something like having a morning routine. So I can't see the chat box, but let me know if you do have a morning routine. And they can vary quite greatly. The whole purpose of a morning routine is to really kick off the day the best possible way, in a structured way, to avoid being thrown off track first thing in the morning, wherever it is possible. And I know there are morning routines which are an hour. Someone told me recently they have a 2 morning hour routine, which involves work on the business. However, there can be very quick morning routines which involve exercise or not, just looking at the preparation for the day, and just gratitude, brief gratitude. And again, gratitude doesn't have to be something very spiritual, that not everyone wants to, a route everyone wants to go down. It can be just thinking about the great things that happened yesterday or recently, and it really helps us to start the day really well. So then challenging tasks first. I think that's quite straightforward. Very often we start with the easier tasks first, and this really then might have a negative compound effect because we don't get the really important stuff done. Reminders. So this can be online in a calendar. This can be, there are mobile services that do this. It can be in a physical diary, of course, or you can print out even once a week and put something on your wall. So one of the coaches I work with, he actually has taken what you've seen yesterday, the template for the planning, the weekly one, and he has laminated it. And what he does every week, he basically plans the week, follows it, wipes it clean on Sunday night, and starts again. So that's how he's using that, and always keeps it in front of him for reference. Delegate outsourcing, really vital, especially when you have admin tasks in a business, repetitive tasks, where someone else can do it faster quicker, cheaper, better. So there are great companies in the Philippines, and I know people are surprised when I mention, but from £3.50 an hour, you can get absolutely superb support. And I have actually a VA virtual assistant based in the Philippines, and I couldn't do what I do without her. So that's definitely quite critical. And then don't let one setback steal your dreams. So just because something hasn't worked one day or at a point within the process of getting to the goal, don't be discouraged and don't just stop. And again, it's the vision that should help over this. Having someone you can talk to, or you can team up with. These things really help. So thinking consciously about what does it mean, not allowing one setback to steal your dream, it is really important, and making that commitment, because again, you can look at it, you can then look at the vision and remember why you're doing this. And finally, leveraging the environment. So yesterday, when we looked at the vision and the goals, what I mentioned is that it is our brain that really attaches particular attention and retains information when it's visual and in pictures. So this is why yesterday I encouraged you to not just do the vision with words and pictures, but also to have it, to print it out, or to create it as a physical vision, so you can then put it somewhere visible. You can look at it in the morning, in the evening, whenever maybe there is a challenging moment, and it really then helps to remind yourself why you're doing it and to continue. Include others. So that's really important, because your environment will be impacted by the changes you make to achieve your goal. And whether it's friend, family, or the workplace, there are things that probably, they will see you differently. So one of the examples is, people are worried when people start up a business, is that their relationship might change. Someone starting up a business might start thinking differently and not engage with family and friends, and they're just fearful. So when you involve people in your goal, your plan, it helps not potentially to find allies and people who might actually support you through with your accountability, but actually help people to be involved, engaged, and maybe support you in ways, again, that you might not have expected. Create a positive and supportive environment. So this can be challenging because we can't change everything, of course. So this is really understand what we can control and focus on what we can control. And one of the examples I always give, this is where I have a few years ago, I had to look at my diet, and I had to make some changes. So I eat now mostly plant-based for health reasons. One of the things that's quite challenging is with my Polish Austrian background, there is a lot of quite heavy food in those cuisines, a lot of cakes and just gluten in general, a lot of meat, and really heavy food. And it's quite challenging for me sometimes to not eat it. And I know that the benefit outweighs, of course, the loss, let's say. However, I know when I go to a Polish shop, and in London we have plenty of those, the temptation is just too big. So I try to avoid it at any rate. And this helps me to keep myself on track, which is the temptation distractions, of course, as well. So I can see comments out. I can't wait to read them in a second. And also something that's really, really important for staying on track is saying no. And because most people want to be helpful and want to help others and support others, sometimes when we get asked about doing something, helping someone out, or being somewhere that's actually not helpful to achieving our goal, we might say yes, even though we should say no. And this might be because we have a bad conscience, or we're not sure if we can actually do it. And being able and willing to say no, but not out of an emotion, and that's really what makes the difference, not out of an emotion, but really out of reason, is quite important. And this is why when we have involved the environment and explained why we're doing what we're doing, for example, if it's a diet, it's not forever. There will be ideally a lifestyle change, of course, but you cannot just live on water and salad leaves, right? But for a period of time, you might build things like this in, and if it clashes with a big night out, this might be a challenge. So again, the environment might support you and help you with this when they know what you're trying to achieve and exactly what the benefit for you and for them is going to be in many cases. So this is really the host, the basket of options to support accountability. And what I try to do is really balance a lot of the different elements. So how to work with people around you, process that you control yourself, an environment which is mixed to help with that. And before I go and look at the chat, I just wanted to show you an example, and it's very straightforward. So there's not even that much to see. So this is actually mine. And my goal is to help this year 100 people to achieve their number one goal, which is one of the reasons why we're all here. So part of my commitment is actually being more visible. And so someone who I offer the help, and I hope I've been able to help you over the last 2 days, has to be able to access me and communicate with me so I can do that. So this is really my goal. And my where I am with the accountabilities, you can see all the ticks in the boxes. So you have that template in your workbook. That's the last template in the workbook. And we're going to look at it in a moment. I'm going to ask you in a moment to complete it just like we did yesterday. And before we do that, I want to have a look at questions. Oh, hi, Michael. And let me have a look. So we're talking about accountability and how to implement the vision and the plan from yesterday. And I'm just having a look at the comments. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for those. Morning routine. Oh my gosh, today. That's fabulous. Yeah. Alarm clocks with phones are actually underrated. I know someone who actually has bought themselves also an alarm clock because they found just the fact that they had to go out of bed, go to the room next door to switch it off, got them out of bed in the morning and really completely changed the way how they are running the morning right now. So brilliant. Thank you for that, for sharing that. Then Diana, okay, morning routine, fabulous. That's great to hear. And I think where you're trying to go, Stephen, googling Polish dishes is not going to be very helpful. Avoiding temptation is really the way forward here, I think. And I don't know, Michael, if you have anything you want to share in terms of accountability. Do you have a morning routine? Do you have a particular goal you're pursuing this year? Is there a particular reason you've joined today, and the focus that you have on your plan? Have you tried it before? So if you maybe want to share something, that would be great. Cool. So from yesterday, you know that what we're going to do is now this is going to be handing over to you. I'll be handing over to you so you can complete this third step of putting accountability in place. And I'm really excited to hear about which accountability types you're going to choose. So I'm going to go back, and the process is, when you look at your worksheet and the template there, is first of all, check through whether you already have any of the accountability types in place. You might have not even realized. So that would be a great first step. And then whatever you have, what you want to end up with is to have 2 types of fail-safes, accountability fail-safes or safety nets in each of the 3 categories. So where people around you can support you, the environment, or a process. And the reason why it's 2 is because sometimes things don't quite work out as planned. And when you just have 1, this might completely fall away. And the idea is that you have different types, different ways of how you put accountability in place. and they really work together. So there's different ways of making sure that you're able to stay on track and continue towards your goal as planned. Okay. So if there are no questions, I'm going to just pull up the template again and the process again. And it's now 41. So I would say 5 minutes again to look at what's your goal that you've defined now from yesterday, and what are the accountabilities you want to put in place. And I'm looking forward to hearing about it shortly. So I'm going to go back to the screen, and that's the process that I've just described. So have a look if you already have something in place. Choose 2 accountability options per category, and then the third one is for later, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment. Okay. So what we've said, it's going to be 47. Okay. And with that, go. Start. How is everyone doing? Have you picked your 6 accountability commitments? What's going to help you achieve your goal? Sienna, fabulous. Amazing. Great. Okay. So what I would suggest is that from here, what you do is you actually put it somewhere visible. And again, one of the ways of actually getting the best out of this is whatever you have chosen to put in your calendar or to put in your diary. If you're thinking about an accountability partner, make that call today. So a bit later, Diana, this morning or tonight, and speak to them. Tell people about what you want to achieve. Again, someone might want to team up with you. Maybe a buddy system is another option. And just involve people around you to support you with what you're heading for and looking to do. So this is really important to put it somewhere visible. So what a couple of people I work with do is they actually use the accountability checklist on a daily basis. So every morning they have a look and just make sure that they're doing whatever they've committed to, and this is part of their plan. So this is how they ensure that there are things in place that help them throughout the ups and downs of a change plan over time to reach that goal, hit that goal. With that, we're coming to soon to a close. So I don't know if Michael, you have any questions, or is there anything that I can help with right now to help you with your goal? You can send me something in the Q&A as well if you just want an individual conversation, so that's not a problem at all. With that, I wanted to just briefly recap, because I'm really, really determined to support you with your goal, whichever goal you have picked around business and health. And for that, so we're having same challenge again. Sorry about that. Cool. So this is something I'm asking you to do for supporting yourself and putting this in place. Just hold on a second. I've seen Michael has just raised his hand. Michael, is this? Do you want to just to speak right now? Because you should be able. So Michael, if you want to.
I've unmuted now. I couldn't.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, brilliant. You're on.
Yeah, I was struggling to unmute. Yeah, sorry, I came in a bit late to this. I've been on another meet.
That's all right.
Could you just quickly run through what I've got to do and to get this back on track? What I've basically done is completely overcommitted to far too many things.
Right.
And it's ended up with me trying to do 20 things when really you can only do one at once, really. That's the problem.
Okay, so if I may suggest the following to you. So I really want to get you back on track. However, this won't be possible in the next 5 minutes because, I want to do it justice. You're here, you're taking the time to be here, you raised your hand. So I really want to support you. So I can suggest after we finish the call, if you have 15, 20 minutes, we can have a chat and I take you through everything, if this is something that you would like.
That would be great, thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. So what I would suggest is if you could maybe pop your email address into the chat box, then I can set up a separate Zoom call with you as well. Would this work?
I'm not sure. Have you got me on visual as well or not?
No, but we can have a call, so it's up to you. Just drop me your phone number. I can give you a call after this call. So we can do Zoom just as voice.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's entirely up to you. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for raising it. I appreciate it. So I'm going to just continue, if that's okay, and then we catch up separately, if that's all right.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Thanks for giving the space to Michael so he can join us in reaching the goal as well. What I want to do is recap what we've done. So first of all, congratulations. You have invested time in yourself and in reaching the #1 goal this year that you've set for yourself. You have now a vision that you're aspiring to. I hope you've printed it out. You're going to be keeping it somewhere visible. Also, in terms of the goal, it's a specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound goal. And this is supported by the plan that you're breaking down and ideally reviewing every week, every month. And don't forget to reward yourself for what you're looking to achieve and hitting the results you're hitting on the way to your goal. And then finally today, what you have put in place for yourselves is different fail-safes, safety nets to help and support the success of reaching and achieving that goal that you're setting out for yourselves and have reconfirmed or reset yesterday and recommitted to today. So this is a fantastic piece of work and you've done it really quickly. So if you just imagine if this is what you can do in 2 hours, and I know you've done some additional work after that, just imagine what you can do in terms of the compound actions. If you do even just 5-10 minutes every day, morning routine, the actions that you're putting for yourself in place to achieve that goal. So this is something that I do to help people. So I mentioned to you my ambition for this year, my mission is to help 100 people to achieve their goal. And there are different resources I've mentioned. And one of the accountability checklist that you've seen right now and that you've completed, there is actually an interactive version that I share that you can download. So I'm going to put the link into the chat box in a moment. So you can have the checklist, not just from the workbook, but actually the interactive version that I've shown you. So my checklist that I've completed is interactive. And that's literally just a few clicks, download, and you can stick it on your fridge or put it next to your bed, wherever you feel with it most comfortable. Also, I run a group. It's a free group for people who are all aiming to reach a goal. And these goals are quite diverse. The group is very diverse. We have members from all over the world. And this is something where I share business best practices from my 20 years in business and the many years in management consulting and running the 60 million business for an engineering company as well. And excuse me. There's also a lot of focus on accountability and mindset, because whether it's motivation or focus or discipline or consistency, all of these come into play where as we might have the great goal, vision and plan, but then things can come in the way. Not every day is a great day. So lots of hacks, tips and resources, how to be the best you can every day and really get to the goal that you set for yourself. And one more thing that I'm offering as well, I mentioned coaches. So there is 2 things that how I support people. One is through group coaching. So there's a course starting in the next couple of weeks. And this is for those who actually don't want to achieve the goal and go for the goal on their own. And also through one-to-one coaching. So the group coaching, you've seen some of the things that we're going to do. We're going to be going into much more depth, much more detail. I'll be available pretty much 24/7 for 6 weeks to really get from wherever you are, looking at what the challenges, what challenges happened in the past that stopped you, and also then continue through much more information and detail and support how to involve your environment, and also how to make your plan stick. So everything we've done today and yesterday is just brushing the surface of what we're going to be doing in the group coaching and the group mastermind that is starting very soon. So if you're interested in any of this, if you want even to follow up, just like with Michael, what we're going to be doing on any of the questions, anything that I have raised, that you've been doing, that maybe you haven't been able to do, or any questions that you have at all, please do let me know. And I'm going to help you the best I can, because this is my mission. So that's what gets me out of bed in the morning, getting really the support and seeing 100 people hit their number one goal this year. So that's really absolutely critical to me. I mentioned the link that I'm going to pop into the chat for the accountability list. Just a moment. Let me just get the right link. So that's here. Right, so the first thing I'm going to pop in for you is the accountability checklist, the interactive one. So that's just in right now. And the second link I'm going to put into the chat box is the community. So the community, we have now close to 500 members, and it's growing every day. So there is a very supportive group of people who where I really want to make sure that it's the best in accountability mindset and business that I'm sharing, and also the people who are supporting each other. It's all very constructive. It can be challenging, but it's always very constructive and supportive. And that's part of the mission to make sure that people reach their goals. And finally, I've shared with you the link to the ultimate accountability checklist, the interactive one, to the group. And then in terms of, if you want, at any point in time, connect with me and ask me anything, ask for clarification. The last link is the link to my calendar. And this is for a half an hour chat conversation about really any specific questions you have about what we've been doing, and maybe what we haven't covered, about the community, all the other templates I have, all the other support I'm offering, and also the coaching, if this is of any interest. So this is really everything I want to share with you. We're coming to the hour as well. So let me know if you have any questions right now, and any questions that you want to ask about what we've done today, what we've covered yesterday. That would be just watching the chat and Q&A. There's anything at all that you would like to bring up? No? Everyone perfectly happy, raring to go, implement the plan? Cool. Okay. So I really hope this is going to help you. If you want to save the links, you can do this by going to the save chat option. And I really hope I will see you again. I will hear from you. I'm really keen to hear how you're all getting on with your goals, with your plans, and making things reality for your future self. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And Thank you, Diana. That's great feedback. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And ultimately, you know, it's an investment you make in yourself, and as always say, in your future self. So so just continue, please, on that path. The most difficult very often is the start. So you've done that already. So please do continue. And Michael, I'll give you a call straight away. And for everyone else, Stephen and everyone else who's on the call, thank you so much for being here, for investing your time, and all the best with your goal. Hit it this year, 2021. And I hope I see you soon. Take care and bye-bye. Have a good morning, day and evening.